I am Tiffany Sims. I am the owner of Global Talent Scouts. We are a full service staffing agency and we specialize in placing underrepresented individuals into leadership opportunities. When you think about the marginalized communities, temporary positions, executive level positions, as well as any type of project level positions, those are the areas that we specialize in. Engineering and IT are our two areas of expertise, but we do go outside of them. But as an engineer by trade, that seems to be the language I speak best. When I first started the company, what drove us was to represent the underrepresented. What drove it for me specifically is being an engineer, female engineer, African American engineer. I remember sitting in rooms and feeling like I was the face for the race. I had to make everything right. I had to say the right things. I had to behave a certain type of way because it just didn't feel like I belonged. And so that was something that deterred me from engineering and ultimately put me into, and I pivoted to HR so that we can get more individuals to represent in those seats, sitting at those tables. Impact Zell came across, so I heard about it. The crazy part is that the importance of companies needing and wanting to give back and showing it publicly, that's just powerful across the board. I started looking at competitors and looking at what they were doing and how they were displaying their impact and what it meant to individuals. In my world, I don't have anything to prove to anyone as far as my business because my business is more of a service provider and no one cares what we're doing or what I'm doing behind the scenes to give back. So it was no big deal for me. And then I received a request from a very large company, Cisco to be specific, the IT company, and I received a request to turn in a proposal. In that proposal, one of the questions was, what is your impact? What is your community involvement? What is your volunteer work as a company? And that shocked me. I said, wait a minute. People want to know this. This is actually a question that's being asked. And not only is it being asked, but it can possibly result in millions of dollars depending on how they feel that they're going to give back because ultimately what they give to us is what gives us the opportunity to give to others. Because the first thing they asked me, because I'm thinking I'm just going to write some things out, they were like, what's your URL? I was like, URL? So that was powerful within itself, right? So now I was like, okay, so I do need to have something that reflects this. I do need to have a statement. I need to have videos. I need to have pictures. I need to have some actual living platform that you can view this information on. Impact Zell is a necessity. And I say that across the board. And I say that because I had no idea how big impact. So, so crazy. Because then even within my life in general, I have a 17-year-old daughter who's graduating this year, and all of her scholarships are asking about community work, community service. How have you been impactful in your community? So then I start to think about how this platform is across the board needed in your life, right? It can even be a part of your resume portfolio. When I think about products in general, just like there's tons of loaves of bread in a grocery store, what makes each one different and unique for us? That's what makes us different and unique. It's having that opportunity. Not only that, but we can take that and we can use it as QR codes. We can transition it to our website as well. So if anyone wants to see our impact, we can say, hey, look at our impact. Social media as well. So we also have the opportunity to say, hey, look what we're doing, right? So it's not only giving us the opportunity for that specific, contract, but it's also giving us the opportunity to showcase to the world, this is who we are, this is what we're doing, and what can we do for you? Because remember, we're about giving, right? And so because of that platform, I actually recently had the opportunity to send it out to someone locally here in Charlotte. They were asking, do you ever volunteer? Do you all ever give back? And I was like, yes, take a look at us. So it also gave me that opportunity where I didn't have to rewrite, start all over again, right? I actually had something that I could update monthly, bi-monthly, and it's actually a living source. Especially if you're doing anything or you're going for any type of opportunity that involves some type of community service hours or sustainability, or that involves some type of way of showing how you've been influential, right? All these influencers and things of this nature that we have going on in social media in this world, this is the perfect platform to show the impact behind it. right? We all can speak it. We sometimes have great intentions, but horrible execution. And Impact Zell makes sure that you have great intentions and great execution. And as an entrepreneur and as a business owner, when you're going after different projects and different contracts, one of the things they always ask you to do is put together a portfolio. And when you think about portfolios, they usually come along with business development. And what business does not need and have business development? So when I think about who would need it and who is going to be beneficial for, every business that has sales, and I don't know one who doesn't, right? Because it gives you the opportunity to show what your company can do even outside of that service, what they're willing to do, what they are doing. So that in a turn speaks volumes. I applied for recently an RFP in Atlanta, and one of the things they were asking me is what groups and organizations am I affiliated with that I have some type of relationship with, right? And the relationship doesn't necessarily, once again, have to be monetary, right? So they're just asking, am I sitting on boards? These can be nonprofit boards and seats where I'm maybe doing resume reviews and doing some type of interview or write-ups and anything like that, right? So all of those things help them to realize just how integrated I am with the community, not just from a surface standpoint, but deeper than surface, right? Because that superficial only gets you so far. So they need to go further than that. You never know how important giving is until you actually start seeing the benefits that come in, because givers gain. And Impact Zell gives you that opportunity to gain, but not on a small scale, but on a grand scale. They say a smile is contagious, being impactful is contagious as well.